later than never. So welcome to tonight's broadcast. That again, my name is Tony Nwisi. I'm going to be your host for tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about VOLI. First, I'm going to tell you about VOLI, and then we're going to talk about the Lower Niger Congress area, okay? So welcome to the show. For those of us who are on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, you can connect with us on VOLI Media, our Facebook, and VOLI Media on Twitter and Instagram, okay? So this is your show. This is your program. So please work with us. Questions, comments, etc. Please post it on social media. This is a 1-hour program. In the course of the show, some of you may well have questions, comments, etc. So we'll invite you to come in and make your contribution. Again, my name is Tony Nwisi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, with me on the show tonight is going to be Dr. Augusta Anosike. She's my guest. She'll be coming in to make contributions to our conversation tonight. Okay, so what is VOLI Media? Okay, VOLI is a new internet-based show which is going to be broadcasting weekly. Okay, dealing with attempting to answer some of the questions in your mind and also engaging with you, audience around the world, on the issues in Nigeria in general and in the Lower Niger Congress in particular. I'm sure we're all aware of what's going on in Nigeria. I'm sure you're all aware of the Constitutional Force Majeure. I'm sure you're all aware of the Lower Niger Congress area. So VOLI Media is going to be broadcasting in general to Nigeria and Nigerians globally, but in particular to the people of the Lower Niger Congress area. So again, before we go too far into the program, for the people in the Lower Niger area, Lower Niger Congress area, we're talking about the Ishakiri people, the Yoruba people, the Anan people, the Efik people, the Ishan, the Bibio people, the Igbo people, the Ikwere people, the Soko people. This is your show, okay? This is your program. VOLI is your voice to the community, to our people in all of these areas, the Oron people, the Okrika people, the Obolo people, the Ogoni people. We do not forget our friends in Kalabari, okay? Our friends also in Ijo, in Isoko. This is your show. So our purpose is to broadcast to these communities so that they'll be aware of what's going on in the area and in Nigeria in general. This is the Lower Niger Congress, Lower Niger Delta, Lower Niger Congress area in particular. Okay, and before we go further, a little plug there. If you're a presenter, for instance, you're a leader in any of these communities, we want to hear from you. So contact us, because we need people who can speak the native languages. We need people who can speak Efik language, who can speak Ikwere language, Isoko language, Kalabari language. We need people who can speak Ishakiri language. To reach out to the local people, in our communities, to make sure that they are flowing, they understand what's going on, and also to have their questions answered. Okay, but now I want to bring in a fantastic lady, Dr. Augusta Anosike, who actually knows a whole lot about the Constitutional Force Majeure, and then we're going to have a conversation. So there's a lot to cover tonight. So have your questions ready, have your comments ready, and then we can try and pick them up as we go along. Okay. So Dr. Augusta Anosike, are you on the program tonight? And by the way, if you have questions or comments, please just raise your hand. I'll see you and I'll invite you at the appropriate time to come onto the program. Dr. Augusta, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Pleasure to catch up with you again.
Thank you.
Okay, so for those who are not aware of the CFM, the Constitutional Force Majeure, can you give us a brief summary? Because I know that you're actually one of the signatories to the Force Majeure. So can you give us a brief summary of it? And let's see if we can help our audience fill in the gaps. What is the CFM?
Yeah, thank you for having me once again. The CFM is the Constitutional Force Majeure, and this was held on the 16th of December 2020. And it was held by the people of Ninas. You know, when we say Ninas, we're talking about the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. These are people seeking for self-determination. They are the owners of the land. They want to get back to what belongs to them. They want to do everything properly, legally, in a pattern, in a pathway that would afford them the opportunity to own back what originally is theirs or others. So that is basically what INAS is all about. And it comprised of the people from the Southwest area, that's the Yoruba nation, and the people from the South, the Southeast, and some parts of the Midwest combined into the lower Niger area, and some people, those from the Middle Belt, they are also part of NINAS. So they came together for the Constitutional Force Majeure that was held, demanding 5 demands from the federal government about what they needed to do to have this, to come to the round table, discussing about the Constitution being a fraudulent document. The Constitution was not written by any one of us. The Constitution was not written by the indigenous peoples. The Constitution was not written by the constituents or the owners of the land. The 1999 Constitution was a fraudulent document that the Abdul Salam government kind of like, using Decree 24 and making it a constitution. So there was no plebiscite. Nobody read about the Constitution that was, put together. There was no referendum. People didn't come together. The owners of the land didn't come together to tell us, oh, this is what we want and this is how we want it. This is just the
Yeah.
government using the military system to turn around the 1979 Constitution, turn it into the 1999 Constitution. And, we all moved on,
Yeah,
But
you talk about referendum and plebiscite, and then what does that mean? I mean, for a layman, why does it have to be a plebiscite? That if the government is doing their job, and they're not, so why do we need the referendum or plebiscite?
remember that the government for Nigeria, the government is not actually doing their job, or is not doing its job. You are
Right,
supposed to carry the people along. That is what it's
right,
supposed to be. And just mind you that the owners of the land, and the so-called Nigerians are the owners of the land. They are the one that will tell you this is how we want our lives to be run. Like here in the United States, the Constitution, everything they refer back to the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? Blah, 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 before they take any new decision. And if at all there has to be a form of amendment, people vote for it. So people
right.
they have to be convinced in what they believe in. They have to vote for certain things. So in the case of the 1999 Constitution, there was no voting, there was no plebiscite. People didn't come out or referendum. The regions did not come out and say, this is what we want, because the region has supposed to vote for how the Constitution has to be adopted eventually. So none of that happened. It was just a piece of paper, I mean, a booklet that was brought out by the Salam, and everybody moved on. So,
Yeah, but this was 1999. I mean, since
nine,
that time, we've had several governments, and each government has continued to implement and indeed convict Nigerians of offenses based on that constitution. And now you are telling us that that constitution is wrong. Is that what you're saying, madam?
100%, the Constitution is wrong. We did not, we are
The
not part of the
constitution is
makeup.
wrong. The
Yes, we are
constitution
not
is
part.
wrong.
It's a fraud. It's a fraud. It's like a fraudulent document. If you have a
Right.
fraudulent document, what do? You discard it. Is that not what you don't have
That
to
is a
do?
sweeping statement. You said the constitution is a fraudulent document. We've had Obasanjo in power. We've had Yaradua in power. We've had Jonathan in power. What you're saying, madam, is that all of these people effectively were implementing a fraudulent document. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying something else? I want to be sure.
100%.
I want to
Exactly.
be sure that I'm hearing you properly, and I want to be sure that our audience around the world are hearing you and understanding you, because you use the words a fraudulent document, and then we've had all these governments in power and all these great men. Obasanjo was a retired general, he's been president before, and then Jonathan has a PhD, okay, and he was assistant governor in Bayelsa. These are all great men. with respect. So, but you saying, are you not, that they have been implementing a fraudulent document? Please explain. Help my audience to understand you better.
Okay, of course, you said that these are great men. Oh man, I have to take a breath to actually appreciate what you're saying. Okay, in the case of Obasanjo, he was the first, to probably. Okay, now let me even draw that back. The I can't remember what title Nyanwodo held then. I think it was supposed to be the one to print out the Constitution. He was supposed to have seen the Constitution prior to, I think it was Minister of Information. I don't know. I mean, usually not interested in a country that don't like you for some reason anyway.
Yes.
But he was supposed to have, he printed the Constitution. The Constitution was not even printed. There was one part in the Constitution where they even mistakenly wrote that this thing should not be printed. There was a part where they wrote that they shouldn't be printed somehow. So
yes,
Obasanjo did not even lay his hands on that Constitution when he was being sworn in. But at the end of the day, it was brought through the backyard, through the back door. And at the end of the day, that is the booklet that he used. And after that, we have Yaradua, where they have been using the book, the fraud. They've been using that document. And the LNC or the NINAs that we have right now, remember, they've been working since they stumbled on that document, finding out that document, the way it was skewed, the way that document was written has no human face at all. The way it was written, it does not have any human face. So that is why they've been working from day one of that Constitution, knowing that this Constitution does not make sense. So we had the likes of Yaradua. We even had the likes of Jonathan, that is a PhD. You said he has PhD in, I think is in zoology or botany. I'm not sure which one. But at the end of the day, even as a president, I'm sure he knew at the back of his mind that he was working with a fraudulent document. How can a document that has about 68 exclusive lists that has to go directly to the federal government, and it has about 30 concurrent lists that is between the federal and the state. The state of course has power to do certain things. Then at the end of the day, the federal government has overseen power over those concurrent lists. So you have to you have to ask yourself, how can a document that does not even allow you to generate electricity where you are, how does it make sense? I remember one of those, was it last year, they were celebrating about 4,000 megawatts of electricity in Nigeria. How does that make sense? In a country where we have intellectuals, in a country where we have manpower, in a country where we have all forms of mineral resources that you can't even find elsewhere. So how does that make sense? So it's true that this government, they swore to uphold that document. And that's why we are saying that document is no longer valid. The Constitutional Force Majeure makes it invalid, that we no longer want it. And because we no longer want people, when I talk we, I'm talking about we the people.
Yes.
Because we were not part of instituting whatever was written on the document. So it doesn't make sense. So of course, what we are telling them that if you allow another election, whomever comes onto that document again or wins that election would also swear to that document.
Okay. For those who are just joining us, you're watching VOLI Media. This is our major broadcast, and I'm having a conversation with a great lady, Dr. Augusta Nosiki, and she has made an explosive statement tonight. And you need to hear this. If you're not on this show, if you're not my guest today, if you're not watching from social media, please call your friends, call your relatives, get them to log on. They need to hear what this lady has to say. She has just said that the Nigerian government is implementing a fraudulent document. That is a huge statement with huge ramifications. This is VOLI Media, where your voice in the Lower Niger Delta area, in particular, in Nigeria as a whole, but in Lower Niger Delta area in particular, okay? So are you an Ishekiri man, Urobo man? Are you from Anan? Are you from Efik? Are you from Ikwero? Are you from Isoko? We want to hear from you. We want to hear your voice. This is your program. This is your show. If you're a presenter from any of those cultures or languages, we want to hear from you. back to Dr. Augusta and this time bomb you just exploded in this place. Now, what that means to me, if you say, madam, that the government is implementing a fraudulent document. Now, think about this. Think about this. Men and women have been sent to jail based on that constitution. Number one. Number two, the Nigerian government has signed commercial trade agreements based on that document, right? Right? Nigerian government has several governments, Obasanjo's government, Yar'Adua's government, Jonathan's government, all of these great men who have governed our country, they have signed international treaties, including United Nations treaties. Based on this document, which you have said today is a fraudulent document. What does that mean to the Nigerian, for the ordinary man and woman whose son, daughter, wife, husband has been sent to jail based on a fraudulent document? Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if you're a lawyer or not. I don't even play one on television.
I'm not either.
Yeah, you're doctor, right? But if someone been sent to jail, if someone has been sent to jail based on a fraudulent document, wow. What do you have to say to that? The issue of the international agreements the Nigerian government has signed, right? International commercial agreements for oil and granules and various things we import and export as a nation. The issue of international treaties, treaties on human rights, treaties on shipping rights, airspace, and so on and so forth. What's the implication of that? What is the implication for those who have been sent to jail, convicted based on a fraudulent document? Talk to me. I'm listening to you.
Okay. Yeah. You made that notation that you're not a lawyer, and I'm also saying it openly. I'm not one either. I'm not a lawyer. But
right.
What about it is that a fraud is a fraud. I mean, we cannot sugarcoat it. We cannot try to amend a fraud like they're trying to do right now, trying to amend the Constitution. They say they're trying to review it. After review, they would amend it and all that. I mean, I wouldn't want to.
Who is trying to do this? Is it the National Assembly?
The National Assembly, yes.
Do they have the power to do that?
They don't even have. First of all, they're trying to amend the fraud. So,
okay, is that possible?
Why? I mean, how would that be possible? You're amending a fraud? I mean, does it make sense? I'm asking you now, does it make sense that you want to amend the fraud? It doesn't make sense. And the truth about it is that they do not have the power to write a new constitution, because they're trying to say, okay, let us, the way Nigerians, there's this tendency, they try to put some things under the carpet or under the rug and do so many other stuff. They have this nonsense going on. But the truth about it is that the National Assembly does not even have the right to write a new constitution. Guess what? Because we are their employers. We are the one employing. It's like you owning a company, for instance. You own a company, you want to write the bylaws of that company, you want to write how the company has to operate, you want to write from what time to what time, you want to write the rules and regulations of the company. You are the owner of the company. So it behoves on you to write everything that company would have to do, because at the end of the day, you will be held responsible for any flaws or whatever the company, or criminality or whatever that the company commits. Because guess what? You're the owner of that company.
Right. Okay, we've been talking to Dr. Augusta Anosike. I think she's probably having some small technical problem, and hopefully she's going to join us in a moment. So while we wait for her, she has thrown an atomic bomb into this conversation tonight. And for those of you who are just joining us, my name is Tony Wincy. I'm your guest. I'm your host for tonight. This is our Maiden broadcast, and this is VOLI Media. You're listening to VOLI Media. We're broadcasting from Europe, and we are going to be talking to the people of Ishakiri, the people of Urobo, the people of Benin, the people of Anan. We're going to be talking to the people of Calabari, for instance. We're going to be talking to Oron, for instance. people of Ogoni, for instance, addressing the issues concerning Nigeria constitutionality and so on and so forth. So if you are from any of those communities, this is your program, this is your show. We want you to log on, join us, and we'll have a great conversation tonight. And if you miss this show, for instance, you can connect with us on social media, on Facebook, on VOLI Media, that is our contact on social media, on Facebook and on Twitter, okay? But tonight, Dr. Anosike has told us that the Nigerian government is implementing a fraudulent document. That is the atomic bomb that she has thrown in the conversation tonight. And so when she comes back to us, she's going to tell us a little bit more, okay? So what are the implications for the people of Ishekiri, the people of Annan, the people of Ogoni, for instance? What is the implication of this Constitutional Force Majeure and the fact that the Nigerian government has been implementing a fraudulent document? She talked about the Jonathan government. It's not just the Buhari government. She talked about Jonathan government. She talked about the Obasanjo government. She talked about Yar'Adua government. All of these governments run by great men in Nigeria. Some of them are lawyers, some are ex-military people. They all have been implementing this fraudulent document, fraudulent constitution called the 1999 Constitution. So we're waiting for her to reconnect. Once she reconnects, we're going to be able to talk some more about it. Again, you're watching VOLI Media. We are your voice in the Lower Niger Congress area. Okay, Dr. Anosike is back to us. Thank you very much. We lost you for a moment there. I'm sure the audience was looking forward to you coming back. Okay? So, you have thrown an atomic bomb in the room, and the people are excited, I'm sure. They want they want to hear more. So over to you, Dr. Augusta.
Yes. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Technical problems. Never mind.
So,
go ahead.
I know, right? I know, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying earlier, that the National Assembly does not have the power to write constitution, and that is the truth. And they trying to front the fact that they can amend it and do all kinds of underground work to make it look nice. No, it does not, because every constitution that is written, whether regional, even your regular village meetings, your regular village meetings, you still have to come together and accept whatever. They'll ask you to vote to see if A or B can be added to some kind of laws or regulations that will govern your village meeting. You understand?
Of course.
And that is the same thing that we are saying. That in the case of Nigeria, we did not gather to approve the kind of laws that would govern the country.
Is that what makes it a fraudulent document? That Nigerians were not asked the question.
They were not asked the question.
Right.
Correct. Of course. They were not asked the question about whether they even want to belong in the union in the first place. They were not asked the questions about how they would be governed or ruled. They were not. I think the last time such a thing happened was in the 60s, but the 1999, and even after that, remember we have the military junta, they were there, there was a lot of coup back and forth, until we now got the democracy back. Honestly, that is not even democracy. What we got was a kind of imposition. Somehow, because we did not approve the bylaws, the constitution that is presently being used. There was no regional or any form of referendum that was done. And the government in the past, they knew this. The likes of Obasanjo, they knew this. Because it was even during Obasanjo that the Northerners pulled back and said, you know what? They want to go with Sharia. Obasanjo was there. He saw it. He saw that coming. And he said that, don't worry, because when people, raise their voices, hey, Nigeria is a secular country or a secular nation. You cannot go with Sharia. He said, don't worry, you guys, keep quiet, calm down, it's going to fizzle out. But guess what? It did not fizzle out. these 12 contiguous states, they came together at the same time and announced Sharia. They have their own Sharia, they have their own laws, they even have ISBA police that, control the Sharia. Like if you stole something, they cut off your hand and all that. There are policemen that are guarding the Sharia laws in those states. So they have already moved on with what they wanted. But the other parts of the nation didn't have a voice. They didn't have to say what they want. Nothing like that happened in their own case. They just brought the law and that was it. And that has not benefited those of us from the South. It has not benefited the Middle Belters. It has not benefited anybody, probably except the Sharia, the Fulani Caliphate, and the Sharia part of that nation. So it hasn't benefited us. So that law from day one, the government, they all know that it's fraud. They've been using it. And we're telling them that the countries that are lending monies to Nigeria, because look at how indiscriminately they go to borrow funds from abroad.
Right. That is a good question that you raised. I want you to address that, the issue of loans from abroad. Now, you have said Nigeria is implementing a fraudulent document. Now, the same country that's implemented a fraudulent document has gone on to sign loan agreements with China, for instance, right? Loan agreement maybe for the next 20 or 30 years payable. What is the implication of that? But before you answer that question, I want to plug in a little bit commercial. For my audience who are just joining us, this is VOLI Media. We are the voice of the people of Ishakiri, the people of Urobo, the people of Anem, people of Ibibio, the people of Calabari. This is your show. Please log on, join us, share this with your friends and family. And if you're a presenter from any of these nations, Isoko, Ikwere, Igbo, Ibibio, Ishan, etc., please connect with us on Facebook. My name is Tony Wisi, and your host for tonight. And we're speaking to a dynamic lady, Dr. Augusta Anosike, who has thrown an atomic bomb in the room, saying that the Nigerian government, no less, is, you will not believe it, implementing a fraudulent document. Dr. Anosike, we're back to you. The issue of international agreement, what is the implication?
Yeah, in the case
of the implication of international agreements, first of all, in the area of loans you talk about, Mr. China is lending Nigerian government billions and billions of dollars, right? So the Chinese are lending us all this money. And now you have these guys in government, Buhari and co, who are implementing this fraudulent. What is the implication of that trade agreement? Who's going to pay China? How does that happen? What does that mean and I want you to address the people of Ogoni, the people of Urobo, the people of Oram, because these are our audience, these are who we're talking to. What is the implication to them? And why should they care? Over to you.
Oh, they should care. They should care. As I said earlier, the document, in the preamble of that of the Constitution, they said that we have signed away our rights. We signed away our, that everything in that Constitution, we approved it. Why we did not? We, the people, did not do that. So in case of China is trying her best, or its best. I don't like using feminism for countries like that. She's trying her best to come and recolonize Africa. China is already trying to recolonize
through the back door, right?
Through the back door, by lending out billions and billions of dollars. You lend that such amount, and you give some unscrupulous, you give some wickedly written contracts, and you write those contracts in your native language, Mandarin, of which most of our people don't even try to translate it and know exactly what the contract is all about. Like we have Amechi the other day campaigning and complaining that he did not read that the contract was written in Mandarin. And you are wondering, how did he become the Minister of Transportation, going to go and borrow loans that are not even being used for our people? The loans that he's borrowing is being used to build trains that is going to Niger Republic, not even for the Nigerians. that he's using the name to go and borrow money from, to go, So we're telling those countries, if you like, go ahead, because the Constitutional Force Majeure has given you has given you the idea that, hey, stop borrowing this, stop lending out this money to these countries, especially to Nigeria. Stop lending out that money.
Yes.
We are not going to be the ones that will pay for it. That CFM has given us that power. The proclamation is there.
Well, you say we're not going to pay for it, but if I were a cynical man, I could say to you that suppose the Nigerian government has signed away rights to some of the land in Isoko, for instance, or Ogoni, for instance, signed up some of the land of Yoruba people or Ishekiri people, for instance. Suppose the Nigerian government has signed up some of their land to the Chinese to get the oil from there for a period of time. So suppose the Nigerian government has done that. What is the implication of that to the man from Isoko, for instance, or Ishekiri or Efik? What is the implication to them?
Yeah, that's what we're saying, that everybody needs to rise up and say enough is enough. You cannot sign up the land in Isoko or Ishekiri or Efik or whatever, one of those nations, and you give it to China for you to get some money from China to build a railway going to Daura or going to Niger Republic.
Wow.
I mean, when the time comes, we will direct China to where they will get their money from.
Right.
Because yes, we would okay, you go, and the money you gave to Nigeria was used to build a railway going to Daura or a railway going to Niger Republic, another country. Right. Go and get your money there.
Right.
Go and get you cannot come and get that from those of us that did not benefit from that's your trade or whatever it is you did with the federal government. And that is when the CFM comes in, because we're saying after that 90 days we gave the federal government, we are telling you that whatever you do it at your own detriment. Whatever if you like, continue to give Nigerian money, well, that's your own cup of tea. It's no longer ours, because the owners of the land right now, we are at the stage where the power has gone back, the sovereignty has gone back to the people, the owners of the land. So we are at that stage right now, and we are telling the federal government or whomever the lenders are, hey, you're on your own. You do this at your own, to your own detriment. That's what it is. So we're not going to pay for all that. We'll have to direct them to where the money was spent. They might as well go and colonize those areas.
Right. So the local people, but I mean, the elites of Isoko, for instance, and Ibibio and Ikwere, for instance, they may well be watching our show and hearing what you say. But how about the people in the villages? How did they get to know about this? I mean, what is the duty of the elite, for instance, who are listening to this show, to make sure that their people are informed about what's going on, so that they don't get hit by a surprise bill from China tomorrow, who is now a superpower, right? Who's now a superpower, because the Nigerian government under the General Buhari has taken out billions and billions of dollars in loans, and instead of using it to develop Isoko, for instance, or Ishekiri land, or the Yoruba people, or clean up the Niger Delta area, he's used the money instead to build a train line to Niger. That's the popular one that we keep hearing these days. I don't know what the fascination is with Niger, with Buhari, for instance. Some people say, oh, maybe he's from Niger or he's from Nigeria. We don't know which one he's from. So, but maybe in due course, you will explain to us. But I'm more concerned about how it affects the people from Ikwere, the people from Isoko, the people from Kalabari, for instance, because their money, their resources, their land is being used for this trade. So what are they supposed to do? Because people have the issue of their involvement is really where I'm getting at here.
Yes. First of all, Buhari's alliance is to Niger Republic. He even said it in one of his recent interview, where he talked about his cousins in Niger Republic. And that's why they're building all that. And it's not just the rail, they're also building gas pipeline, drawn from the south towards Niger Republic. There are so many things they're doing with Nigerian money just to, maintain their own, they know where they come from, so they know what they're doing. Now, to the Calabaris, to the Ijaws, to the Ogonis, the part of the CFM, the stage we are right now, as I said earlier, is that the sovereignty has gone back to the owners of the land. So this is the time that we need to come out. And there are grassroots movements that are talking to people back at home. This is the time that everybody needs to voice out their opinion about what is going on. And we are telling them that the method of bringing down that 1999 Constitution is to avoid elections in totality. Avoid not boycott, because when you say boycott, the election is almost on its way. But we are saying do not even entertain any form of a political party coming to come and tell you about election, because the elites of whichever place that they come from are only interested in their personal pockets. We have people, the big child, the politicians, they are only interested in whatever money comes, their own courts. That's what they're interested in. They're not interested in the people. So when they come to you and tell me, oh, please vote for me, tell them no. We are not voting until we get our new nation through the process of NINAS, the approach of NINAS. So that is where the voices should go to the grassroots, telling our people to avoid election at all costs, because this is what gives them the power. This is what renews our slavery. Every 4 years when they come, they give you one tomato, they give you 1 cup of rice, that you should go and vote for them. You are renewing your slavery, because each time that all the time that this constitution has been on, they have been following it to the teeth. So if you now go ahead and vote for them again, it means that you have renewed another 4 years of slavery. So our people need to know that making sure that election does not hold at all is actually the major key of
the election. That's a good place for me to bring in my next guest to the show tonight. But before I bring her on, her name is Dr. Ekwe. So I'm going to bring her on in a moment. She's going to talk to us some more about this Constitutional Force Majeure to serve our audiences slightly an addition to the menu. But for those of you who are joining us now, you're listening to VOLI Media, where your voice on these issues of constitutionality and issues of Nigeria. And so so hook on, tell your friends and family, join us. Okay, specifically, I'm talking to people of Ishekiri, people of Anam, people of Benin, people of Isoko, people of Ikwere, for instance, the Igbo people. This is the area we call the Lower Niger Congress. Okay, so please join us. You can connect with us on Facebook, on VOLI Media. That's our link on Facebook and on Twitter. Okay, but joining me now is Dr. Ekwe. Dr. Ekwe, are you in the house?
Yes, I am.
Oh, lovely to have you, Dr. Ekwe, my good friend. I've been talking to our sister, Dr. Augusta, and you will not believe what she's done today. She threw an atomic bomb in the room. She threw an atomic bomb in the room. And I've been scratching my head since trying to figure out what she's going on about. Okay? And she has said, believe it or not, that the Nigerian government, no less, is implementing a fraudulent constitution. The Nigerian government, for my audience, listen carefully, she has said the Nigerian government is implementing a fraudulent constitution. So Yar'Adua government, Jonathan government, Obasanjo government, they have been implementing a fraudulent constitution. Dr. Ekwe, talk to me. What do you say? My audience is listening to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tony. I would say that they're committing treason against the people. They're not even just implementing.
Oh my God, that's another atomic bomb.
They're committing treason against the people. Yes, because they took over the sovereignty of the people. It is the people that makes constitution. Like you say, constitution, the constituents of a nation. We make constitution. So the people never met to build a nation. They did not even make the constitution. Then you made it and put your signature in it and said, and put their signature in it and said they made it. So you're not even only committing fraud, you're committing treason against the people. It's that serious. So all the people that whatever they did with that constitution, it's like null and void. That's what it means by implication. Because if you have a fraudulent dollar bill and it's fake dollar bill,
yes.
If you paid for something with it,
yes,
that's when you paid for, you've not paid for it.
Yes.
Because the currency is fraud. So that means everything that they did, and right from that 1999 that constitution was made, people started shouting. The first son, I've forgotten his name, but barrister, I've forgotten his name, he's the Yoruba man. They started making noise about it, that this cannot work, this is fraud. So people did not keep quiet. People have been talking that this is fraud. And it's because of that fraudulent document that they were able to do all they have done to us this past 20 years. All the lands they took, all the properties they took, all the resources, everything they stole from us, killing our people, everything is because of that. They literally turned Nigeria into an Islamic state. That's why they were able to register Nigeria in OIC. So they turned everything. Nigeria, I find out that they use the name One Nigeria. The One Nigeria they use is not the same as the Nigeria we thought we are building. The Nigeria we wanted to build, that our founding fathers wanted to build, is called Nigeria and is a secular nation. But what they have currently is called One Nigeria. That One Nigeria is an Islamic state. That's why they had to bring in that fraudulent document to use it to execute all that they did. Like my sister said, the 98 items, the 68 that they have in exclusive list, and the 30 that they have in concurrent list. They were able to do all the things. The immunity they put on their rogue politicians, all that they did, they were able to do it because of that fraudulent document. That is why Nigeria is as if one step forward, 20 steps backward. It's
so not only have they committed fraud, what you're saying tonight to the people of Ishekiri and Ogoni and the people of Efik, that the Nigerian government has committed treason against them by stealing their sovereignty. That's what you're saying, yes?
Absolutely, absolutely. That is what happened.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So what is the implication of that to the people of Ishekiri, the people of Ogoni, for instance, the Igbo people? What is the implication to the Kalabari people of this treason that the Nigerian government, successive governments, have committed against their people over this last year? What is the implication to them? And how do they come into all of this conversation now?
You know, we said, the Bible says, sorry, I'm quoting the Bible. It said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Somebody stole something that belongs to you. You know, like I like to explain it like somebody took your land. Took the title deed, used Tipex, correction fluid, and Tipex to your name. But you know, if you turn that document around, you still see your name written behind it.
Yes.
So it's for you to know that somebody has stolen something from you and you need to get it back, which is why we mentioned Constitutional Force Majeure, which is what has given back the people that sovereignty. The sovereignty, they did not see it because it's inalienable right. That's their right. Nobody will take it away from them. But they can commit fraud and say they've taken it. So they can only take it because you're ignorant that they cannot take it. Do you understand? So the Shekiri man needs to understand that the Nigeria that is doing whatever is doing to you is doing it because you're ignorant. That if you are not ignorant, you would have told them to leave your land. So that's the implication. The implication is that if you're ignorant, somebody can kill you, do all sorts of things to you because you don't know what your right is. But if you know that this is your right and that nobody can take it from you, you will stand and join Ninas and say, okay, time up. You've done this when I was not aware, I was ignorant. Can you stand up now and start living?
Well, that is a good place for me to invite you to look into the camera, Dr. Ekwe, and talk to the man from Ogoni and the man from Ikwere, and talk to him in a language that you will understand, if I may borrow that that phrase, in a language that they will understand and appreciate what is going on and what their own duty is. What is their own duty? So look in the camera, talk to the BBO man, and talk to the man from Anan, and the woman from Anan, and their community. What is their duty in this regard?
Now we're telling you, our people from Ishekiri, Urobo, Ijo, Igbo, all the people in Lower Niger territory, that your sovereignty that was stolen has been restored back to you. It happened on the 16th of December, 2020. And we call it Constitutional Force Majeure because the Constitution is a social contract. And if anybody that assumes, even if the one that you entered with, you signed, if the person that you signed the contract with is no more meeting the terms of the contract, it is your right to say, I'm out of this. So you have your right to say you can get out of Nigeria. You're no more part of Nigeria. And you remember the people that took this sovereignty, each time they talk, they will say, so far you are in one Nigeria. So far the 1999 Constitution is in place. We, the oil in Bayelsa, belongs to the man from Jigawa State. Your land, we will carry our cattle from beginning to the end, and there's nothing you can do because you are in one Nigeria. You are accepting what we're doing to you by agreeing to be in one Nigeria and agreeing to be ruled with 1999 Constitution. That's what they're telling the people. And we are saying right now that you can stop this today. You can stop this. You listening to me, you lady, man, child, your freedom is in your hands. Your destiny is in your hand. Ninas has done that already. By Ninas, we mean, like my sister said, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. And the document we are using is 2007 United Nations Declaration for Indigenous Peoples' Rights. So what we are doing is not just inside Nigeria, it's an international law. Other people have used it. They use it in South Africa, where indigenous peoples have freed themselves from any imposing terrorists or imposing governments, because the land belongs to you. You are an indigenous person. You are the owner of the land that you occupy. Nobody will tell you what to do with your land. It is yours.
Well, you couldn't have put it in a clearer way, Dr. Ikwe. I'll just give the last word to Dr. Augusta Anosike. Dr. Augusta Anosike, please look in the camera and talk to the people of EFIC, because I think she missed the people of EFIC or the people of the BBO and the people of Anan and people of Oran. Please talk to them, Dr. Augusta, and tell them exactly what they need to be doing now in order to get their rights back to them. Dr. Augusta, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tony. So as my sister rightly said, that that sovereignty belongs to the people. And we have said it. It's written in every book that I know that the power belongs to the owners of the land. So now we are talking to all our brothers and sisters, our mothers, our friends that are from the lower Niger region. The lower Niger region consisting those from the ethnic nationalities in the lower Niger region. Please, all you need to do is to key in into what NINAS is doing. And that is repudiating the 1999 Constitution. That gives everybody the freedom that we all look forward to. So what our people in the have to do right now is continue to campaign. You have to continue to campaign, continue to talk to everybody that you know, tell them to key into what NINAS is doing. The Yorubas have already moved on. We always bring up the Yorubas because they are also following the same template. They are following the NINAS approach. So they've already moved on. So for those of us in the lower Niger area, get yourselves together. Talk to us. If you don't even know what to say, you can contact any one of us. We can explain things further to you so that you would understand why we have to do it this way. It's a legal approach. It's been done. My sister already said it, that it was done in South Africa. Even as a recent, Chile also did it. They repudiated their own constitution of 40 years or so. And right now, everybody said, you know what? We no longer want to be ruled by that constitution. So there are countries that are following this pathway. And, the reason why we decided to do it this way is in order to avoid war. So we are telling all our people from Efik, Anang, anywhere you are from, Ikwere people, the Ogoni, the Ibibio, anywhere you are from, listen, the NINAS approach is the key to our freedom. It is the key to our freedom. All you need to do is to key in and continue to spread the message. Spread the message. Talk about it in your gatherings. Talk about it in your churches. Talk about it in your meetings. Because if we do not do this, we are going to forever remain slaves to this I don't know what to call them, but we're going to forever remain slaves. Remember that our colonizers, which are the British, they colonized us and handed over our colony to the hands of these Fulanis. And these Fulanis are not indigenous to Nigeria. They are not. They are not part of Nigeria. They are not the owners of the land. And their primary objective is to conquer the land and take over the resources of the land. Is their primary objective. And they have come in several means. They have come introducing their religion. They came through all means. So ours is to stop them in their tracks. Stop them before they take over what belongs to us. We need to stop them. And that is what everybody should be involved in. Go out there. The Igbo man is not your enemy. Do not allow anybody to, tell you stories about them. All you need to do is pick up the mantle and talk about the freedom of your people, because that power has gone back to you. You no longer have to wait for your politicians. Your politicians do not have your interest at heart. No, they're only interested in that month, that allocation that comes to them every month. So our people need to wake up, and the time is now. Thank you, my brother.
I could not thank you enough. We shall leave it on that note. Thanks to you, Dr. Augusta Nosige, for a fantastic program tonight. You threw an atomic bomb, and just as I was recovering from it, Dr. Ekwe came in and threw an even bigger bomb and said the Nigerian government is committing treason. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much, Dr. Augusta and Dr. Ekwe. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Nigerian government is committing fraud through the 1999 Constitution, and indeed a treasonable felony by virtue of that Constitution, says Dr. Ekwe. You've been listening to VOLI Media, where the voice of the people of Ishan, the people of Ishakiri, the people of Anan, the people of Ogoni. We are your voice on this matter. Please connect with us on Facebook, on social media, on Facebook at VOLI Media, and on Instagram and on Twitter. I've been your host for tonight. My name is Tony Nwisi. Until I come back to you next time, it's a real pleasure having you. Our next broadcast is going to be on Wednesday, 7 o'clock. So please hook up with us, connect with us, and tell your friends and family. Thank you so very much for today. Any questions, comments, extra, please drop them on our platform. Thank you so very much. And a last thanks to my guests tonight, Dr. Augusta and Dr. Ekwe. Thank you very much. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.